Alright guys, what is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Got Bash.
And I'm Francis.
And this is The Push. We are back, boys. We are back, and we are in the midst of one of our favorite things in professional wrestling, a tournament. We've got some interesting stories going on all across the wrestling world right now. But for right now, let's actually start in a company we don't start off too often with. We don't really get to talk about these guys too much. But we're going to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. They had an event this past weekend. And to talk more in depth about this event, we got a residential weeb, Francis. Francis, go ahead. Tell us about this event last weekend.
Dummy! Yeah!
Sugoi Daisuke. Oh, God, I'm going to get super
I swear to God, I swear.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, I deserve that.
Talk about the wrestling. Talk about the wrestling.
All right, get on with it.
So this past weekend, on May 11th, New Japan had one of their annual America-hosted events called Resurgence over in California. I was this close to calling it Revengeance.
Oh my God.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, no. A lot of notable events happened at this pay-per-view. The main one being the main story of Jon Moxley, the current IWGP champion, because God forbid a member of the Shield not hold a world title in the world of wrestling, faced off and defended the belt against his former young lion, or his protege, essentially, Shota Umino, in an absolute barn burner of a match. And believe it or not, it wasn't a hardcore one.
It wasn't a hardcore match?
Yeah, New Japan, they don't mind the hardcore stuff, but, like, they don't do it all the time.
Did Moxley still bleed?
Oh, yeah, no, he bled like a stuck pig. It's Jon Moxley.
Of course.
Know it.
I was going to say, it's Mox. He's always going to bleed.
Yeah.
He has to bleed in order for his matches to be somewhat good.
It's like, no, and even then, the thing about that is, like, the thing about New Japan is it's strong style, which means it's extremely stiff, so that's probably why he signed on to them.
Because it can mean more options for bleeding.
Yeah. He has this whole gimmick now called Death Jutsu, where it's him trying to adapt hardcore and strong style at the same time. And it's the most Jon Moxley thing Jon Moxley has done.
In the history of Jon Moxley, this is the most Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
It just sounds terrible.
Nah, trust me. Which is weird enough because, like, they did have a hardcore match that night, but Jon Moxley was not involved at all. That was Eddie Kingston versus Gabe Kidd. AKA the guy who I swear I have to get Scott to meet one day because of what he said on AEW on that one news show. Did any of you guys catch that clip? Scott and Cap, I know you did. Dom, did you see it?
I don't believe I have.
So I'm going to give it on the long and short of it. New Japan showed up on the local news to promote Resurgence. And Gabe Kidd showed up on a news channel on California the weekend of the show. And he said, look, I'm going to put it to you in this way. If you like theater, watch WWE. If you're a fat nerd who is afraid to talk to women, watch AEW. Yes, he said that on live television. He said that on live TV.
And in that moment, he became Scott's favorite person.
It perfectly describes all three brands, and what they do. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, if you're into theater, watch WWE. If you want real sports, watch New Japan. If you're a fat nerd who can't talk to women, watch AEW.
Oh my God, I think that's going to be my new Instagram bio.
Oh my God.
Is it going to be the whole thing? If you like theater, watch WWE. If you like sports, watch New Japan. If you're a fat nerd who can't talk to women, watch AEW.
I might have to make that the Instagram bio. The Instagram for the Push Wrestling guys. join us. That's going to be our bio.
Thank you, Gabe Kidd.
Oh my God.
There's a reason why his nickname is the Madman.
It's going to be in quotations, and it's going to have Gabe Kidd as the, the little dash, and it be a Gabe Kidd.
That's good. I like that.
Oh my God. We ever get Gabe Kidd on the show, but
dude, I would kill to get the Madman on this.
Oh my God.
If anybody, if you have a chance, get us Gabe Kidd. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
Please. Scott will come to the airport and pick you up personally.
But yeah, Gabe Kidd faced off against Eddie Kingston in a no ropes last man standing death match. Yes, seriously, for the Strong Openweight Championship, one of their mid-card titles. In a epic bout that involved a stop sign spot, a spine buster onto a barbed wire filled trash can. It wasn't even on the outside. It was weird. And a win for Gabe Kidd, which is really good. But I feel like they had to call that on the fly because Eddie got legit injured during the match.
That sucks. I actually do genuinely enjoy Eddie Kingston, man. So, it sucks to hear that he's injured once again. By the way, we do wish Eddie Kingston a full recovery, full speedy recovery. Hope you get well soon, bro.
Yeah.
But, we definitely wanted to, but I definitely want to piggyback on that because that's going to lead into our next segment here, where we're going to talk about, and I know we just spent the past 5 minutes laughing at Gabe Kidd, talking shit about them, but we're going to talk about AEW now.
I mean, Gabe Kidd won the match, so
That's true. He did.
Yeah.
But so. Usually, when we talk about AEW on the show, we don't always have the nicest things to say about AEW,
which sucks.
Which sucks because despite all the jokes and stuff like that, I don't hate AEW, man. I don't hate them. I don't think any of us except Scott hates them, but it's sad. It's sad to see what's happened with the show, man. But I will give them.
Once upon a time, we were all elite.
Once upon a time, yeah. Yeah.
I've never been on the side of AEW.
We were.
But we were.
I've never favored AEW more than WWE, but I did watch it.
I meant in the sense.
No, I would be man enough to admit that there was a period of time where I liked AEW a bit more than WWE. I will say that there was when it first started, I was a fan of this. I thought it was, but you got to understand it was during a time when I couldn't tell you what the fuck was going on in WWE, man.
WWE was a shit show at the time.
I couldn't. They had Roman, and that was pretty much it. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Uh-huh.
But I will, to AEW's credit, I am actually very, very interested in what they have going on right now with the Young Bucks being authority figures on the show right now.
They also showed up at the aftermath of the Gabe Kidd Eddie Kingston match where they jumped Eddie.
Yeah. And the reason they did that is because the Elite, which consists of the Young Bucks, Okada, and a returning Jack Perry. Jack Perry returned and is with the Elite. We mentioned that, or I mentioned that on our TikTok, which you guys, if you haven't yet, you should go follow. But a couple of weeks ago, what happened was the Elite attacked a returning Kenny Omega, who was talking about his health this past few months and things like that.
Best of luck with the surgery, man.
Yes, best of luck with the surgery, absolutely. And after an entire shot about how one hard shot to the midsection could kill the man. The Elite, of course, came out and hit him in the midsection with a steel chair. So, bit of a continuity as I would put it mildly. But afterwards, the next week, Kenny made the match for the Elite to take on Team AEW, and this team consisted of Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson. I almost called him Daniel Bryan. I apologize for that.
Dude, just do what I do. Call him Daniel Bryan Danielson.
And the team of FTR. Now, unfortunately, because of this injury, Eddie Kingston obviously will not be involved in Anarchy in the Arena. And so they go with perhaps an even... The pick makes sense, but given the time that this guy has had, my God, how the hell... It's Darby Allen, folks. Darby Allen is back. And, for anybody who hasn't heard what's been going on in Darby Allen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm surprised this motherfucker is still alive. Man got hit by a bus, I want to say a month ago or something like that. Man got hit by a bus.
It feels like it's been longer.
Broke his foot, which was already broken, which kept him from climbing Mount Everest, I believe he was going to be climbing. And broke his nose as well. Obviously, could have been a lot worse. And so, thank God it was, it wasn't as bad as it could have possibly been. But a month later, this man is back and is gonna be in the Anarchy in the Arena. So I understand it. I believe that if anybody were in any other circumstance, I would say this: Darby Allin is the perfect person to be on, fighting the Elite for Team AEW. In any other circumstance, I believe that. But at some point, man, when is Darby just becoming a danger to himself at this point?
About 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You guys tell me what are your thoughts on this? I'm gonna open the floor now.
I mean, he didn't throw himself in front of the bus, so I don't think that was intentional.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, maybe he ended up absorbing some of John Cena's super soldier serum by accident, and that's why he heals quick.
I mean, listen, the way I look at it, if the doctor says he's medically cleared, who the fuck are we to say that he's not? The doctor said so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and, obviously, he bounced back pretty quick from a broken foot. That's no
small feat.
No small feat, exactly. So, I mean, I've always been impressed by Darby Allin because, he does these crazy spots, but, he's gonna... At the same time, it's I worry about him because it's one day he's gonna get seriously hurt doing half the shit he does in his matches. It's he does a lot of crazy stuff. He's gonna have a very short career, unfortunately, if he keeps doing what he's doing.
The thing I often think about when it comes to Darby Allin, I know that, everybody wants to, compare him to Sting and stuff like that, and there's obvious comparisons to be made there, but
I compare him more to Jeff Hardy than anything else.
That's exactly what I was going to say, man. Holy shit, this man is Jeff Hardy on...
This man is
Jeff Hardy on lean, my God.
Or the meth.
And the alcohol.
Yeah.
He needs to chill, the last, I'm just hearing, because I didn't really pay attention to what was happening during it happening, but knowing that he got injured, trying to do a really insane feat, climbing Mount Everest. Am I right?
Well, I believe the story was he got injured during a wrestling match before he was set to.
He never got to go.
Before he was set to start climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah, but also you need to chill out. You're getting hurt a lot in a consecutive basis. Want to end up Foley and people like them who can barely walk at the end.
Mikey Whipwreck.
And playing during injuries, even though it says cleared, you can only expect how cleared is he.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, if the doctors are saying that he's clear, he's clear.
As long as he doesn't do any crazy shit, he should be fine.
But that's just the thing, man. This is an Anarchy at the Arena match.
That's most of his moveset.
And I believe we've all seen Anarchy at the Arena. I know that I believe we've all seen matches like that. This is a match that, again, under normal conditions, I would say Darby Allen is the perfect human being for this type of match. But that's almost a problem at this point right now, is the fact that Darby Allen is the perfect human for this type of match.
Yeah, for real.
It's that, as the name suggests, man, the whole thing is anarchy, and God only knows what they're what they're gonna let him do and stuff like that. I hope that they would be wise enough.
Usually pre-recorded, so if anything, they could use some camera checks to make the spot safer. That's what they did with the first.
That's true.
I hope to God they do it
because it was during COVID, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah,
so everything was pre-recorded.
Yeah. But
even post-COVID, they still do that.
Yes.
As they should. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this in particular. But aside from this note, I do give AEW credit, because this it's not like they're reinventing the wheel here. Oppressive authority figures. Things like that. It's not like they're reinventing the wheel here, but this is kind of a very a bit of a cheap way to get at least some kind of some kind of story out of your performers right now. And you guys know me. I'm a sucker for the classic abusive authority figure story. But yeah, moving on, we're gonna get into real meat of this episode now. We're gonna be talking about, obviously, we're gonna be talking about WWE. We're gonna be talking about the King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring tournaments that have been going on.
Can I talk about something that I heard, that I saw something on TikTok before we get into WWE? Mm-hmm. Well, it is mentioning about WWE, but there's rumored saying that Joe Hendry his contract is about to expire.
Wait, what?
At TNA?
And yeah, from TNA. And here's the thing, obviously there's a good chance he could probably just re-sign with TNA because he looks like he likes it there. But with the power that WWE has, and the fact that recently, I think the past week or two, Joe Henry's theme song has hit the charts in
number one.
It's number one in the UK.
In the UK, right? And knowing they want to bring in a group of people into WWE across seas more, you think there's a high possibility that Joe Hendry signs and gets convinced to go with WWE?
I could see him at the very least trying NXT UK.
Yeah, or just NXT in general.
Yeah.
I think NXT UK is done.
Yeah, NXT UK is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, that is not a thing anymore. They have a UK training center. That's still a thing.
Alright.
But they don't have a separate show for it.
See,
If he does show up, we're still singing the song, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, they better keep the song.
I mean,
they'd be stupid not to. It top the charts in the UK.
They would genuinely be stupid not to, because I believe that's the entire meme of Joe Hendry right now. But
it's also, I believe it's his song. Like, I believe he owns the rights to it, so he can give it to whoever he wants.
It's
like
him
how
singing
Cody
it.
owns Kingdom.
That's
like
awesome.
Cody owns the rights to Kingdom along with
the Hardy Boys
Downstate.
own Fully Loaded, so or they're like friends with the band or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But
Edge is tight with Alter Bridge. That's why he can use Metalingus wherever he goes.
True.
Yes.
But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about Joe Hendry. I'm glad you brought this up, Scott, because it lets us talk about yet another promotion, TNA, and specifically Mr. Joe Hendry. I've seen Joe Hendry quite a few times. I've seen a couple of his matches. This guy is pure fun. It's pure fun. This dude, I genuinely enjoy Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
It even looks like the wrestlers that have like segments with them even looks you can sense like they love the fact that that his character will pop up and they have this whole segment of trying not to say his name.
They gotta have
because then
absolutely.
he appears.
Yeah, because it's weird. He fucking Beetlejuice.
Like it's funny, corny, and it's like, but they don't mind doing it, and you can sense it, and it's just like fits.
Yeah.
Speaking of TNA, there was a TNA World Champion at Resurgence last weekend.
No, who wasn't?
The president of the X Division, Mustafa Ali.
Really?
Yeah.
Mustafa.
Yeah, he wrestled there against Leo Rush.
So, actually, this brings up. We're going very off the cuff. We're going very off the cuff this week, man. But I actually wanted to talk to you guys because I've seen on Instagram, Francis, I believe I've shared this video with you. Leo Rush is currently doing something little different for his character. The Black Heart, I believe it's called, or something like that. Black Heart.
Yeah, where he's doing his best Great Muta impression.
The best way I could describe this character is, do you guys remember a long time ago when Jeff Hardy's Willow character? Mm-hmm. I believe that this is something very similar to that. Like there's this darkness within Leo that comes out,
imprisoning him. All of these sees. Yeah,
get out.
I'm sorry, I had to.
And and I just wanted to bring it up, man. I don't know if we could like make a whole discussion about it yet or not, but I find it. I think it's an interesting take. I think it's an interesting spin for him. Gonna be honest, it's again, it's not anything like. I wouldn't say it's anything like reinventing reinventing the wheel or anything like that.
Jonathan Grisham is doing the exact same thing in TNA.
Yeah, he kind of is. He got the whole
he
mask
dresses
thing
up
now.
like fucking Cthulhu.
Yeah, he's doing the whole mask thing now. Feels like actually. Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys something. Do you feel like a lot of people are doing the creepy character right now?
I feel like there's always been people that did it, but like I can see like there's definitely more as of late. If I had to guess,
I feel like now that our attentions are averted from the guy who used to be our one focal point when it came to darkness, or two, are now gone. It kind of like I feel like we're all trying to look for that right character to fill in the shoes, and it's just not gonna happen.
Actually, I'm glad you.
I'm sorry, Gav.
Go ahead, Francis. Go ahead.
I myself haven't noticed like an influx of spooky characters. Like the first ones that come into my mind are Jonathan Grisham, the Judgment Day, and we're
I
still
wouldn't say the Judgment Day. No, we're talking about like the supernatural type.
We're talking like supernatural stuff here, man.
Like Undertaker, Bray Wyatt type shit.
Then no, I haven't seen like a big influx of those guys. I've seen
It was
Johnson
Malachi Black, the Final Testament,
and even then, I think Final Testament got quietly broken up.
I want to ask this question, and I specifically, because my only problem, the one thing that this may become a problem in the future, I don't know, but maybe this is just how I was thinking it. When I first saw the Black Heart that Lio Rush is doing, and I actually think I messaged this to Francis when I sent him the clip on Instagram. It's
you messaged me a lot of things.
Yeah, Leo's doing his he's going through his fiend phase and stuff like that.
Mm.
And I somehow actually want to bring this up because I think it might be a curious question. Dom, I especially want to bring this question to you. When it comes to dark characters now, those supernatural characters and things like that. Mm-hmm. How do you guys think that wrestlers could do it without people's minds immediately going to Bray or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. So.
Or Taker.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's hard.
Or Sting. Yeah.
It's hard to differentiate yourself when there's only so much of that specific character, like archetype, if you will, right? So like you would have to like really differentiate yourself from Bray and Taker. Like you would have to be a very different character. Like, Undertaker, his whole concept was he was just the dead man with supernatural powers. Bray Wyatt had the Fiend and the cult leader, and he had like 3 different characters. So it's like, how do you differentiate from that? So you would have to go in a different direction. Like you can't do anything that they did. So you can't do like a Fiend, or like Finn Balor had the Demon, which was very similar to the Fiend, but it was only brought out for special occasions instead of every match.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you would have to do something. You would have to get creative. Obviously, I have no idea what that is. So otherwise, I
can answer this question very well, and I am kind of year 2020 offended at Cap that out of everybody, he didn't ask me of how people can differentiate being the person who's obsessed with the paranormal and stuff like Bray Wyatt does.
All right, Scott, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Wrestlers, they need to stop trying to make it off a branch of previous successful wrestlers' careers.
Yeah.
There is a lot of different paranormal types that are probably never explored or will never be explored or thought of.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I mean, like Dom said, there were certain they didn't choose a broad version of paranormal. There were a specific version. He mentioned Bray and Undertaker. There was Kane, where he was Devil's favorite child. He was the devil, like Satan's son. There was Paul Bearer. He was a ring bearer. That's something in the vicinity of that. But they need to stop
their character.
When it comes to them wanting to make a paranormal character, they can't think of who's like. They keep thinking of the history. You can't think of wrestling history. You gotta think of the history of paranormal. And there could be a lot of different type of monsters or views of the paranormal that you might be like, wow, I can actually do something with that. Absolutely. And they would bring people into it.
All right, then
that's the whole thing is like to piggyback off what you said, Scott. Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, there's so many different things that you could do, but it's like at the same time, it's like how many of those make sense for wrestling? The Fiend made sense. The Undertaker, Kane, Sting. Even the Demon, Finn Balor, it all made sense. That made, it made sense for their characters. And everyone compares, Taker and Kane. I was like, yes, but they were, kayfabe brothers. It made sense that they were very similar but different.
I mean, they can there's also a lot of different. You can go through different types of demons. You know,
Absolutely.
they have certain different personalities they can go through and try to go with, like, oh well, I can make that into a humanized version.
So Scott, let me ask
more.
let me ask you this question, because as the as the paranormal expert that you are, man, let me ask you this question. What do you think? What is a what's a way that somebody could go down this road that you personally would like to see?
Oh wow.
So that's tough.
To be honest, I'm surprised they haven't done this. It's a very easy children's toy. It's actually kind of like a teenager toy. I'm not even surprised if it does go down that low. But there is a demon for this, and it's called the Ouija board. They actually have this demon that involves itself with the Ouija board. I forgot the name. But, there's a history behind that thing, and they can really bring it out. Like, not only they can always use it as like a prop too.
Mm.
And like, you can have it spell out. You can probably have a thing where the Ouija board tells you, what is your next. Sorry, what is the next? Like, who should you go after next? What's next for me? Like, dedicate themselves to it and be like, this is going to bring me to a championship or something like that.
Okay, so Scott, can I kind of blow a hole in your theory there?
Go ahead.
They can't use the Ouija. They can't use the Ouija board.
Oh shit! Really?
No, I'm saying because Hasbro owns the trademark to the Ouija board.
Hasbro does?
I'm sorry. What?
Yes,
Hasbro owns
Hasbro owns the trademark to the Ouija board. I just looked it up.
Can we talk about?
No.
Okay, can we talk about for a minute how that's absolutely fucking insane?
Yeah. Yes, the term like I said, I just looked it up. The term Ouija is trademarked by Hasbro Inc. and the registration number is 0519636. Hasbro acquired Parker Brothers in 1991, and the Ouija board were previously produced alongside other Parker Brothers games like Monopoly, Risk, and Clue.
I think it's just so fucking funny because, like, you don't think of that as a Hasbro toy.
Because it is. It's 100% a fucking board game. That's all it is.
Yeah. So
I don't know about that, man. I ain't got the stones to play with one of those fucking things.
No, yeah. I don't fucks with the Ouija board.
I ain't got
I don't like that. I don't like those.
I ain't got the stones.
No, but I kind of remember the demon now for the Ouija board. I'm not going to say the name for it.
Please don't.
But, but like, that's just an example of, like, you asked me what I would like to see, but it doesn't matter for me if it goes through or not, but
Alright, so
there's a demon, something for that. You can use history and try to go with, like, there can be a female character that does, like, some type of, like, a witch type,
or even like a succubus,
like, character.
But they can't do a witch because
something, whatever.
You had Sister Abigail. Like, even though she was never really a character, if anyone comes up as a witch, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's Sister Abigail." It's like Bray Wyatt's thing.
I mean,
Yeah, but I don't know. She never really had a look, though.
No, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if they she has like witch powers, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's just they're ripping off Bray and this and that." Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, but
like, there's so many.
You can also say Bray took it off of Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, or other shows like that. Like, there's different. Yeah, but there's always different. Like, that's why. But you also, like, that was never a wrestler. Like, that was like a godlike figure to him.
Yes,
like, you can do like a wrestling type person.
Yes, but my point is, the fact that Bray did it, people are gonna pull it, and they're gonna say anyone that's a witch is gonna instantly be compared to Bray's Sister Abigail.
Yeah, everybody likes to make the little thing make little points
like,
into big deals.
That's what I'm saying. In order to be successful, you have to be different.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is like there's a lot of different ideas. There's so much of a wide version of them.
But it's also
it's not like it's just the fact of just taking a little bit of time and being like, oh, there's like in this country there's something for this, like, and
it's also on top of that. Yeah, on top of that, and I'm not saying that like you have to be completely different to be successful, because look at it this way. Everyone compared Bray to the Undertaker his entire career. until he really popped off.
Yeah.
The whole Bray Wyatt character was like, oh, he's trying to be the next Undertaker. And unfortunately, that's the thing. If you're going to do that kind of psychological, paranormal-esque character, you're going to have to be comfortable with being compared to some of the greatest to ever do it, i.e. Kane, Undertaker, Bray.
Yeah, there's never really... But that goes for a lot of different... That's not only that character, but there's a lot of different other characters. Like it's going to be hard for every character, because if you do like a persona, like a rap persona, people might go back to John Cena. But you just got to find different...
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy, but the little details that you change, you can make him look like he's John Cena, because to be honest, there's a certain look to each type of music or whatever thing it is. But it's the little things that you make your character that separates them off from people like Undertaker and
yes. No, I agree.
Papa Shango and that.
Yeah, but that's like I'm saying, that's the whole thing, is you have to be able to differentiate enough, but also be mentally prepared to not, be pushed down by the comparisons. You have to be able to like get through it and like, be like, yes, I understand. Yeah, my character is very similar, but look at how I'm different. And that it takes a lot of work and a lot of character work to get to that point, and it's hard.
I think
it's like, obviously everyone wants to pull from their inspirations,
and there's one.
But you have to like not do the things they do.
And there's one other thing that I think, while I agree with every single thing you guys mentioned in this, I also think that we as fans sometimes. I think we gotta be willing to give things a chance to breathe too a bit, because it can be very easy. I include myself in this camp as well. As I just mentioned, I immediately went to, this is Bray Wyatt thing, and that's my own fault, and but I couldn't help that part. I think we as fans need to sort of let these characters breathe a little bit as well, before we start making the joke that you guys know, the very tired joke of, so-and-so is, Undertaker bought on Wish or something like that. So, and I feel sometimes like people are a little too quick to get on that joke. And to be honest with you, it's a bit tired at this point anyway, but I don't know, man. I'm just saying, maybe just let things breathe a little bit before you're ready to just like say, this is a so and so from Wish.com and stuff like that.
Yeah, let the characters develop before you start making assumptions of who they are.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Give it a chance. Give it a chance. All right.
Absolutely. Even if it is just Jonathan Grisham in a Cthulhu mask, maybe he's cooking. Might be.
All right. I think we've enjoyed off-roading for a little bit, but let's dive back into the meat and potatoes. Let's talk about the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring tournaments going on. We are in the midst of tournaments. You guys know me.
I hate that they changed that name.
What do you mean?
I hate that they changed the pay-per-view name to put Queen in there. Like, I understand you're respectfully trying to do it for both, but like, it just comes off the tongue weird.
At King and Queen of the Ring?
It is kind of a mouthful.
It is a bit.
Would you rather?
I understand the reason, but
would you rather they call it Queen of the Scene?
No.
Seriously, why do we keep letting him back in here?
No, I'm saying that's a bad thing.
Actually, you know what? I didn't mind when it was called Crown Jewel.
Chase Owens.
No, this is.
I mean, Crown Jewel was like its own podcast, like its own.
I know it's its own thing, but like it made sense for the finals of these tournaments to be there.
Yes, I don't think King of the Ring or King/Queen of the Ring needs to be its own PLE. Like it doesn't need to be its own event.
Well, it used to be.
I know, but I feel like if unless you're gonna have the entire pay-per-view be the tournament leading up to the final match. But if there's only going to be 2 matches on the card that have to do with King of the Ring, why are we making an entire pay-per-view into it?
Like maybe, sorry, like you're suggesting maybe put the whole tournament on the pay-per-view. Maybe not the whole, but like a good chunk of it.
No, I'm saying don't dedicate an entire pay-per-view to just one match.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Unless it's literally like the Royal Rumble or like Money in the Bank, because they're long, drag-out matches. They're not singles matches.
Do you hold that same energy for Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time, Hell in a Cell doesn't need to be a fucking pay-per-view.
Yeah, nah, that's dumb. Same for Extreme Rules.
Because exactly. It kind of, I feel like it takes away from the what's
specialty of it.
The novelty of the match type, right?
That's correct.
Because Hell in a Cell was meant for like to be the end all be all of a blood feud.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's every year where you can at least expect 2 Hell in a Cell matches because there's going to be a men's and a women's.
Yeah.
True.
For Undertaker was more like a punishment.
Exactly. It's like if you brought someone in Hell in a Cell, it's because there was no other alternative. Now it's just like, oh, well, we have a Hell in a Cell match because we have pay-per-view.
Elimination Chamber makes sense because that's
like Elimination Chamber, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those matches last over an hour.
Yeah.
You know, Hell in a Cell, not Hell in a Cell. Like Elimination
Hell in a Cell
Chamber,
would be
Royal
one
Rumble,
match.
Money
Yeah.
in the Bank.
Yeah.
Those are fine to have as gimmick pay-per-views because those matches take up fucking half the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, you're having 2 singles matches for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. And then what? And then it's just a bunch of regular singles matches. What's the big deal? Just name it something else. You know, it doesn't have to be named after the gimmick.
Fair enough. Well, as much as we
That's
might,
just me. That's just my opinion.
well, as much as
No,
we
I
might,
Because you limit it. It's because it's limited now. Because it doesn't make sense to put it on a different pay-per-view or put it in a different match because there's a pay-per-view for it. So like now that you can go to like Raw and SmackDown and you can get to the surprise of a Hell in a Cell match.
Also,
But now that it's in a pay-per-view, it's like, well, I don't want to use the Hell in a Cell match because I don't want to make it, and people are going to think it's going to diminish it because it's not on the pay-per-view.
yeah, because that's the whole thing. They only use the Hell in a Cell match during the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. It's like limiting when you can use it.
true.
Yeah.
When meanwhile,
I
back in the day,
understand
you could have had a Hell in a Cell match during SummerSlam.
True.
They-
I remember King of the Ring pay-per-views being just, it's the 8 people that entered the King of the Ring. The entire pay-per-view was the tournament.
Exactly,
And at the end,
that's what I'm
somebody
saying.
gets it.
And it felt so much more impressive when that person finally came out at the end because they had like 3 matches.
Yeah, and the fatigue kicked in, and it's just, it's like, oh my god, who's going to go through, like, who's going to survive more?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not only is
Just
it like
get it.
may the best man win, but it's also like a fucking marathon. It's an endurance thing.
It's an Iron Man almost.
Exactly.
So
But anyway,
As
moving
much-
on, because I could sit here and talk
true.
about this all fucking day.
Listen, as much as we might not like the name, I can definitely say that the tournament itself so far has
it's
been.
fucking great.
I think it's been a spectacular tournament so far. But
It's been
We'll get to it.
we gonna get
Well-
to you. Don't you worry.
Starting on
Let's talk about SmackDown.
Queen of the Ring
Yes.
bracket. On the SmackDown side, we still have 2 matches to figure out who's going to be in the finals on the SmackDown side. And as of right now, our quarterfinal brackets are Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca Belair. So the winner of those 2 matches will face each other next week on Raw.
On SmackDown, you mean?
You know what I mean. Shut up.
Yes.
We have... So yeah, Nia Jax and Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton and Bianca Belair. I have a feeling that we're just heading straight for Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair.
My prediction
Jade
still
Hills,
lives, people. My prediction still lives. I mean, is there any doubt in anybody's mind that this is... Listen, I think it's obvious here. I do believe that Jade is going to beat Nia Jax. She's going to be in the semifinals.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think Jade's winning the whole thing.
I'm
Maybe.
ready to down some Jaderade.
She has to win the whole thing. It doesn't. She can't lose. She can. She shouldn't. She can't lose right now.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of months later, but
it's
not right
also it's also very heavily implying, especially this year with King of the Ring, that if you win King of the Ring or Queen of the Ring, you're basically guaranteed a title.
You get a title match, which I'm gonna be honest with you. I like that. I like that added thing. It adds more to this tournament.
They have to do something because the past, I don't know, as long almost the entire King of the Ring when they brought it back has been terrible. Like,
it's just basically
didn't mean anything.
Just get the title and that's it.
Yeah. What was the last time being King of the Ring meant something?
Stone Cold.
I would
No,
say
Booker T.
Booker.
I like
T,
Booker.
yeah.
I like King Booker.
Because he actually won a title for it.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin didn't. He failed as king.
Xavier didn't do anything with it.
Sad.
And we had a chunk of King of the Ring winners that just crumbled because because the title holder was like, you're not the king of nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
But anyway, so we have that on the SmackDown side, and on the Raw side, our finalists are already set, waiting for that match on Monday. Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria.
So
the winner of that match will go on to fight whoever wins the finals on SmackDown at the King and Queen of the Ring in
I can
Saudi.
see EO getting it.
I could see Io versus Jade Cargill being in the finals.
I can see Io. I can see Io winning it. I can definitely see Io and Jade at the final, and I believe that if you are going to have Jade lose this tournament, the only acceptable way will be because of damage control.
Yeah.
That is the only acceptable method.
Yeah, they have to cheat Jade out of the win.
You literally have to cheat this woman out of winning this tournament.
Yeah, because then at least this way you could also, if they do that, where it's you have damage control screwing Jade over, you can have Jade and Bianca feud with damage control more.
Or Bianca turns on
that
her.
feud.
Or Bianca turns on her.
That too, but who knows?
Ooh, sorry guys, I got this weird cough all of a sudden.
No, I mean, if Jade Cargill wins the King of the Ring, I kind of feel it more and more of a heel turn from Bianca.
That too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I feel like she's going to get jealous. She's going to get jealous. She's going to slowly get jealous throughout the season until WrestleMania.
I mean, I thought
they're going to lose the title sometime throughout the line because it's going to be Bianca who loses it.
Of course.
I mean, I thought immediately it was going to be happening at Backlash, but
no, I didn't think it would be that.
But to be honest with you, I think it has to happen before SummerSlam.
Or happens at SummerSlam.
Maybe.
Because I think that Bianca versus Jade would be that's a good SummerSlam match in my mind.
We'll see.
Definitely
Only time will tell.
If that's the case, 2 months.
Yeah, but we have the men's side of everything. Over on SmackDown, same thing. Waiting on the quarterfinals matches to happen as of time of recording in about an hour. We have Randy Orton versus Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight versus Tama Tonga for the SmackDown side, and on the Raw side, Gunther and Jey Uso have advanced to the semifinals. So they will fight whoever wins the SmackDown matches. Yeah. One of them will fight whoever wins the SmackDown matches.
So I think that the answer is probably on the SmackDown end of things. I think that the answer at this point is probably Tama Tonga.
If I had to guess.
But
especially since the comment with Solo saying failure is not an option because he's going to make it that he doesn't lose.
Losing has consequences. Coming from the man who had lost 40 matches beforehand.
30-something
40
losses straight.
It was 40. Believe it or not, he got up to 40 before he, before he ended up winning finally at Backlash.
But that's a tag team, so I don't count.
Still a win.
It's still
Win's
a win. Win's a win. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
let's more talk about Raw because I especially, and I know Scott wants to talk about this too. I want to give flowers to Jay and his opponent in the quarterfinal, Ilya Dragunov. When it comes to Dragunov, man, oh my God, this man reminds me of a Dragon Ball Z character. This guy this dude is crazy. Like he is insane, this man. And I love him. I love it.
Yeah, I saw the first round match with him, and it was just something. I was thinking of it, earlier. It's like he looks like a wrestler. He looks like a mid-card wrestler, but the way he wrestles and the way the way he gives off like a personality and aura-wise in the ring, it's like, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
Oh, aura-wise, forget about it. The man looks like he's gonna burst into flames in the middle of the ring, but like,
you know who he is? He's a Tekken character. I know that because there's an actual Tekken character called Dragunov.
But like, this dude is insane, man. And I love it. I love how crazy this guy is. And I wouldn't have been mad if this was the semifinal match between Dragunov and Gunther. But I do understand that, if Tama's on the SmackDown side, Jay does have to be there, man. And it's
Yeah.
But well, I'm gonna open the floor now. What do you guys think about all this?
Oh, honestly, I think the main event of the King of the Ring, the finals of the King of the Ring, is probably going to come down to Tama and Jay. Just to
It's
prove that the bloodline isn't over.
Yeah.
Now,
As much as I want it to be Gunther, I have a feeling it's going to be Jay.
Jay is not beating Gunther.
He's gonna
Jay-
beat Gunther.
This will be a complete. If Jay beats Gunther, this will completely just ruin everything even further of his character. And the fact that this is for a title, and Gunther is very well reasonable enough to make a fear into, oh God, he just won the King of the Ring.
So while I will admit it would be a bit. I mean, it depends. It depends on the match he has, though, man. To be honest with you,
Jay shouldn't have even beaten Ilya Dragunov.
I mean, listen. Regardless of how you feel about Jey Uso, man, and regardless how you feel about the Bloodline story, I do think you have to give credence to the fact that the match was so well played. The match was so well done that, like, I personally can't even be mad at it, to be honest with you, because the match was so well done. Like, yes, Dragunov lost, but this man did not look weak in defeat in the slightest. Not in my mind, at least. Like, I don't think this man looked weak in the slightest.
Slugfest.
No, but it's just I can't. It's just the best thing about Jey Uso is his entrance, and that's it. Like, there's just his entire singles run has been terrible, and even with this King of the Ring win, it won't make a difference. It won't boost up how he looks.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't. So Scott specifically, I know you mentioned it on our TikTok page, man, that you've been you got a couple thoughts on Jey Uso, man, and
Yeah, I mean,
here's the floor right now, man. Why don't you?
It started when I mentioned it when he beat Ilya Dragunov, because if he does win the entire King of the Ring tournament. He's not going to beat Cody, and he's not going to beat Damian Priest because they already versed, and it wouldn't make sense for him to be like, oh, second chance, I beat you. No, they're not going to make Damian Priest lose like that. But it's also the fact that this, for a long time, I think a lot of people secretly wanted the Usos to split, than to see how they would do separately as a group instead of together as a tag team. And this just shows that not every tag team needs to split, because it just shows all the weakness in the matches, and the fact that we had it was painful to watch of a singles match between Jimmy and Jey Uso. Give and take the fact that we had a Brock Lesnar type performance with the same move being done by both people, not just one person, both of them.
So again,
and you wanted to make, I'm sorry, Kat, but you wanted to make Jey Uso look stronger. You wanted to make his solo run look stronger. Oh yeah, congratulations, you split from Jimmy. Let's see how well he does a singles match. Oh, okay, you're just going to win a tag team title with Cody Rhodes, which makes no sense, because you could have just split them both off from the bloodline and have we just survived, let's get through this, and you're going to have him get an Intercontinental title match, which he loses, because Gunther's not going to lose until WrestleMania, and that him beating Gunther doesn't look good. I mean, I didn't like Sammy beating Gunther, but he lost it. He had to lose it somehow. And then you verse Damian Priest with a title match, and you lose that match. And just every step of the way that he goes through with his solo runs, it's just he wins pointless matches and loses when they actually matter. And the only good thing about his solo run from Jimmy Uso is the fact that he won another tag team title match. Come on.
So, I'm honestly shocked that I'm saying this.
Oh,
but
God,
I kind of agree with Scott here.
Yeah,
No,
it bothers me.
So, only because, Scott, you brought up some really good points. Since splitting from Jay, I wasn't thrilled with the Usos match. Yes, I liked it. It definitely wasn't my least favorite match of Mania, but it wasn't. No, it was very close to the bottom for me. The only thing I will say in regard, he has had some very good matches since leaving, but he's failing to win when it matters most. And that's the whole thing. Granted, he's definitely doing better than Jay in terms of his solo.
You mean Jimmy?
Run. Sorry, yes. Fuck, I always get them mixed up. Jay is definitely doing better than Jimmy in terms of a solo run.
Yes.
Jimmy has done nothing of note, other than
surprisingly enough,
crawl back to the bloodline. That's all he's done.
Yeah. Even though Jay's solo run has been better, Jimmy's storyline is tons better than Jay's.
Yeah. So, but my whole thing is, I don't agree with how they've gone about booking him in terms of, like Scott was saying, title shots. As losing an Intercontinental Championship match doesn't make a good challenger for a main event title, like the Heavyweight Championship. That doesn't make sense to me. If you can't win the Intercontinental, why are you booking him to win? Or, kayfabe, you lost this match, so we're going to book you against this match for a bigger opportunity. That makes no sense to me. You have to earn those opportunities, not just be over. Obviously, I know in real life it's being over gets you matches, but that's besides the point. I'm talking what WWE would like you to perceive in terms of kayfabe. You have to earn these matches.
I have my own opinion on this, but before I give my take on this, Francis, as our audience has seen on TikTok, you are quite the Jey Uso fan.
I like The Eat Master, yeah. Okay. My 2 cents on this is... God, heaven forbid me. I also kind of see where Scott's coming from. Because,
I told you.
I think I can hear the vein in Cap's forehead getting ready to explode.
Hear me out. I don't have a problem with... Let me fucking talk, fuckers, okay?
Sorry.
I don't have a problem with Jay beating Ilya Dragunov because, like... Yeah, it would have been nice to see, like, Dragunov face off against Gunther, and Gunther beats him, and Gunther becomes king, because that could be a nice rebound from losing the IC belt, be king of the ring, but, like, that's a whole thing for a predictions video. But, like, the Yeet thing is super infectious. And I'm not going to say, like, matches aside, Jey Uso bleeds charisma, and I can see why he's gotten as over as he has gotten. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, yeah, I'm not going to lie and say, like, I remember the Usos tag matches more than I do the singles matches.
100%.
It feels like something is missing. Like, a lot of his moves and all of his big spots, like, we keep expecting Jay to run in at any moment. Jimmy, goddamn, you got me doing it. We keep expecting Jimmy to run in at any moment and do, like, the double frog splash, but that's just not happening, and it feels weird. So, yeah, and I still stand by that I don't think that the Usos had the worst match at Mania. I still think that was Final Testament, but, like, I was entertained by it, yeah, but even then, that comes back to the fact that the Usos do their best work when they're together. Like, yeah, Jey Uso can keep yeeting until the cows come home, but, like, if and when that bubble pops, where is he going to go from there?
But it's not even like they're separated, though, because
well, they are now.
No, I know they're separate, but their personas make it like they're still a tag team. Like, they're not separate.
Yeah, they didn't change much personality-wise.
Like, this
that's not true. Jimmy became a cartoon character, but...
I have 2 things about when you guys were talking that popped up. It's crazy to think that, like, I know they have the talent, they have the family history, they have the talent, they have the brains, but they lack so much imagination because they are repetitive wrestlers that got repetitive personas. And they make it too simple so they don't have to do any work into their character. Because all Jay has to say is yeet. And people will get over it. There's no creativity. It's just, this will make sense. I don't have to do anything to it.
Nothing.
And the other thing is, when you separate them, you're supposed to, like, I know I'm going to put them because they're in this category when you mention top wrestlers, tag teams of all time. The famous tag teams that had split, that were successful. There was Edge and Christian that split, and they both went off and had their own personas, separate, totally separate from each other, and they both won a world championship. You have the Dudleys, who did separate in WWE. People don't remember this. And Bubba Ray was like a small version of a different before Bully Ray became a thing, and Devon Dudley was more like a priest, like a minister.
Yeah, he did Reverend Devon.
And then even going to this one, because I'll mention all 3 of them. It's also the Hardy Boys, because Jeff stayed his character. Even though Jeff, well, they were separate before they were together.
True, also true.
But for the Hardy Boys, it was, well, Jeff Hardy already had his own kind of persona with his brother. It's just his worked with a tag team and separately.
Yeah,
because he was always the crazy one. But for Matt, he made it such a different. He made his trajectory made it so different so that it wouldn't be compared to his brother.
So he kept changing his persona, though.
Honestly,
I can't say Matt had much single success until he left the WWE.
Yeah, and then all you see now is yeet, no yeet. So it's pretty obvious that obvious that they're going to come back together. That Jimmy's going to come up with another annoying word, and it's going to be a Saturday Night Live sketch for the rest of their tag team life.
So
I was going to say, like, they're basically a Crip and a Blood at this point.
So I gotta come in now because
go for it.
Because I actually feel a bit differently, a bit differently than you guys do. So I took a couple of notes on what you guys were saying, and so I'm gonna go through this like bit by bit here. When it comes to losing the big one, yes, Jay has lost every single one of the big matches, quote unquote, that he's been involved in since his split. But he was protected in that as well, because in those losses, it was usually interference from someone else. And I don't know how much, that hurt. I don't know how much that hurts him, because realistically speaking, if we're going down by that logic, then, you got to have the same criticism of LA Knight and stuff like that. And do any of us feel like LA Knight is weak? I'll take the silence as no.
No, I think we were all silent because we were all super tempted to say yeah, but
no, I was silent because I still don't know the comparison between LA Knight and tag teams. But no,
I'm not talking about tag teams. I'm talking about Jay specifically.
Talking about
I'm talking about Jay. I'm talking about Jay Uso specifically.
No, the way
LA Knight.
We're talking about guys who are losing the big. We're talking about guys losing the big one. Then, if we're gonna criticize Jay Uso for being that guy who can't win the big one, then we have to put that same. You got to bring that same energy to LA.
Do you want me to? I could put the same energy into LA Knight. LA Knight is just a bootleg Stone Cold Steve Austin, who people want to keep. Whose only reason why he's so popular is because there's a big group of people who still watch wrestling that still can't get over the fact that they're retired, and that pulling someone that you doing old stuff is
Okay, hold on.
Come on.
No, that's not. No. I'm sorry. That's no.
You gave
that's
them
not,
and now you have to live with it.
So I'm not. No, that's absolutely wrong. Yeah. If we're gonna sit here and pretend that like LA didn't get over through to the fact that he's one of the most charismatic fucking wrestlers that this company has had in a while, then then we're not talking reality. I'm sorry, we're not talking reality.
No, I mean there's a lot of characters who can't whose wrestling ability isn't to main event status, whose only reason for being main event because of their personality. We've had a bunch of those wrestlers.
But aside from that, his moves are repetitive. I will agree with. I will agree with that take. However, the same could be said about his entire family, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The same could be said about his whole damn family, sir.
I think Scott.
I've always had
convinced Scott you are doing a bad job about it because he's been saying
I've always had a problem with wrestling families because it's like you completely there's some wrestlers that you give the only reason they're getting this fame is because of what people did in the past, and it doesn't matter how bad the ratings go down, they will always have that constant opportunity.
I don't.
Certain wrestlers will never get that chance, even though they're so much better. There is a bunch of wrestlers. How come a lot of the wrestling families, like in the Rock's wrestling families, they like to say like, oh, they're the head of the area, but there's always a wrestler who fought for it who we like more. The Rock had Stone Cold. We can go back further. We can,
again, Hulk Hogan was because they were more they were charismatic. That's why we feel that way. It's not listen. A lot of I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the great wrestlers were not great wrestlers. They were phenomenal characters, man.
Yeah.
We fell in love with The Rock not because of his wrestling. We fell in love with The Rock because he's the motherfucking Rock.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh my god, we get hyped. The storyline's going through, they're hyping us up because they're such great performers. The pay-per-view's coming up, I can't wait for the pay-per-view. Oh, this match is coming up soon? Yes! Well, I can't wait for this match to come up soon. This match is going to be amazing. And then it's like, oh, I like the entire pay-per-view, but that match. I've had a bunch of that experience. We've had Roman Reigns for 2 years, or 3 years as champion. Like, we've had a lot. We had Roman Reigns for
4 years, but let's be honest. We never fell in love with Roman Reigns because of his wrestling ability. We fell in love with Roman Reigns because, especially in the beginning, and I'm not going to be one of these people that ever said that the tribal chief character. I'm not going to be one of these people that said like the tribal chief character was a bad character at any time. We fell in love with Roman Reigns because this character was phenomenal. It's the best, hands down, the best fucking thing he's ever done. So, but again, that whole thing is that whole thing I think draws down to the debate of the fact that, like Gabe Kidd said, WWE is theater, man. Like, and it's good theater. That's the thing. It's good fucking theater.
He never said it was bad.
I never said that he said it was bad. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm telling you what people care about more. And I think the fact that's why I don't think that Jay is failing, because Jay, yes, I don't fully, I don't think he's the best guy around or anything like that. I can't look at reactions like we got in France and stuff like that and say, oh, this is a failed attempt. Because let's be perfectly honest here. If it sucked, it sucked.
The booking isn't great.
If it sucked,
I don't even
think
Nobody was saying it's a failed attempt. I think he's saying it's not his cup of tea.
That's fine if
it's just the matches. No, it's just the matches that he does. It's very hard for him to be a champion when he doesn't put any effort or skill into anything he does. And like I said during that French crowd, like I said on TikTok, the French crowd made that match good. I'm pretty sure that if we were watching that match in a US arena, it would be dead silent and it would be terrible, and we'd be saying, "Oh my God!" We wouldn't even blame Jay because it would have went to Damian Priest because he's champion, and we would have been questioning, "Oh, what have we done putting this title on him?"
I don't know.
I don't know, man, but I don't know. I think that the Usos should absolutely get together once again, because I think that's another reason why we're struggling so hard with this. It's the fact that Jimmy and Jay were, you mentioned all these other teams, you mentioned the Hardys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, things like that. We still got to see them as singles wrestlers as well during that period of time. And when you look at the grand scheme of things, you did get to see them thrive as singles competitors as well as tag teams.
Ooh.
This is completely uncharted territory when it comes to the Usos. They have only ever been a tag team, and they're going on for a 15-year career at this point.
Something like that.
10, 15 years, at least a decade at this point.
At least.
Also, there's the issue that while Jay is allowed to be his own man, Jimmy is still shackled to the bloodline.
That too. I was just about to bring that up, actually, Francis.
Yeah. We're going to be getting back Jimmy and Jay as a tag team soon, because they're going to reunite in War Games.
I don't know.
You think it'll happen in War Games?
It's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Oh yeah,
that's 100% where it's going. That's why Solo's getting his team ready so quickly.
Yeah, because now Jimmy's out of the Bloodline, so it's only a matter of time before he goes back to Jay.
True.
Moral of the story, the way I look at it, right? I honestly think Jay can definitely have a singles career that's not terrible, but he just needs to be booked better. Especially not losing a title shot to immediately getting booked in another title shot to also lose. That's definitely not the way to book someone when they're over as fuck. Because you have to admit, he is very over. The crowd loves him.
Absolutely.
They love his entrance. They pop for his matches. They pop for his moves. I can't say the same for Jimmy. Jimmy hasn't really done anything since the split other than be back in the Bloodline and then get kicked out of the Bloodline.
Record time.
So it's like we got to figure out where they go from there. I think, like I said, I think they could have something special when they do reunite and get back together, because now you can have like the old Bloodline versus the new Bloodline kind of idea with now, especially if they have Jacob Fatu come in. So you have Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tamatanga and Tangaloa.
God.
Yeah. You know, you have them go up against the old Bloodline with the Usos, Sami Zayn, and like Roman Reigns.
You think he'll get Sammy involved again?
Probably.
He's the only one, unless they get some random person, another family member.
They could. I mean, I was about to say, like, what are the chances they get The Rock back?
Well, The Rock would be on the new Bloodline side, in my opinion.
Either that or you put him on the old Bloodline side and he betrays them.
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Or you have him do a full-on face turn.
He's already full-on heel. There's no way you have him go face now and then to turn again. That makes no sense. You would have, if anything, you would have Roman turn face to fight The Rock. And then this and that. And
the Bloodline's been a heel faction for its entire...
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have Roman come back, now he's humbled by his loss at WrestleMania.
He's on his my bad. I don't know what that was about.
No, not even that. Like, he realizes he's wrong and he makes amends by, you know, apologizing to the Usos and like, you know, like, let's get rid of them now. You know, let's get rid of Solo because, like, look at the monster I've created, kind of thing.
And he has created a fucking monster, man. My God.
Yeah. A monster that can't win.
Ooh.
But anyway, point being, I think it worked in Jay's favor splitting. Jimmy, not so much.
I will absolutely agree with that.
And that with the split.
I will absolutely agree with that, and I will top it off with the fact that yes, I do believe that they should get back together. But even after that, I still think that you need more time to see them individually as well, and things like that.
Yes, I agree. Like, you can have them be a tag team. Just book them in some singles matches too.
Book them in some singles matches. Let us get used to seeing these guys on their own.
Yeah.
As well as a tag team. But yeah, folks, I believe that's where we are going to wrap things up there. Want to remind everybody that we are on TikTok and Instagram. We have referenced both of them heavily on this episode, but please make sure to follow us, both of those, The Push Wrestling, on both Instagram and TikTok.
Kid, please.
And you can also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Push, where we have episodes weekly. Next week should be our prediction episode for King and Queen of the Ring, I believe.
Yep.
So we are going to be back here next week giving our predictions on the card once we get the full card. And so please make sure to like, subscribe.
I don't think we will get the whole card.
So. We won't get the full card until Friday.
True. But either way, let's... But anyway, please make sure to like and subscribe for more wrestling content and more fun conversations such as this. But For all of us here at The Push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Francis.
Ring that bell, Dom.